Now, joining us today to discuss more on electoral-related sexual violence and the Heshimu Dada campaign are Honorable Esther Passaris, who is currently Nairobi County Woman Representative in Kenyan Parliament. She's also a member of KEWOPA. And of course, we have Alex Gakuru, who is Director of Center for Law in Information Technology, also known as CLAWIT, a technology policy, law and regulation consultancy firm working on this campaign with Google Kenya. Remember, we're also joined by my co-host and the VOA anchor, Ndimiake Mwakiliele.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's just dive into the topic of discussion for today. Now, Esther, in your honest opinion, would you say that the electoral politics in Kenya is hostile and a violent place for women? And how hostile is it? I know you are a member of KEWOPA. What are some of the reasons that members give in terms of what impedes them from participating in the political landscape here in Kenya?
And I don't think it's violent only to women, but women feel it more. I think we've been trying and struggling with the 2/3 gender bill, and it's the only part of the constitution that wasn't implemented. But having said that, for any political party to field the 1/3 women, they will need women to come forth and say, we want to take part in this exercise. But at the end of the day, when you put them through a nomination process, then there's no way the woman will compete with the man and win. All right. So it becomes very difficult because, you need to have your brand awareness on the ground. You need to have your ability to create town hall meetings or rallies or road shows. It's resources. And then it's also that connection with the voter. You see, I, as an incumbent, have already been connecting with the voter over the last 5 years. So they feel me. So if you're coming in new, unless you come in from a big establishment where you've done CSR, or you come in from an NGO world where you've actually impacted on people, so they know you, that brand awareness, it's very tough for women.
Honorable Passaris, there's been obviously some landmarks that women and inroads that women in Kenya are making. I mean, yourself being one, and then of course you have the running mate for one of the presidential aspirants being a woman, Ms. Martha Karua. How is this? Do you think this is a positive in terms of now how women could better push for more acknowledgement and also maybe try and change this whole trajectory around this violence, especially around election time?
We say that 50% of the voters are women. And if 50% of the voters are women, then we need these women to be able to at least stand with their own. Right now, we have a Chief Justice for the very first time who's a woman. Martha Karua, who's tried and tested and has run for president before, is a tough lady. She will handle the issues of corruption, which has impacted the society negatively. But I feel that as a government, we should give the women a budget so that they can be felt to reaffirm and reinforce themselves to the grassroots, which is the voter. Because that's the problem with our politics. It's about tokenism. It's about what have you done for me and what have you done for me lately.
Another question I do have about that, about women representation, because there's also this expectation from women. When there's a woman in charge, when there's a woman in a high position of leadership, what and how does that translate to in terms of women issues, from healthcare to safety to just general issues, employment, women empowerment?
So for me, I think the issues right now for our country are about jobs, are about education, are about water, are about electricity, are about good housing, clean environments, security, affordable medical and medicines in our institutions, maternity. So we believe that having more women, we can articulate some of these issues that are very domesticated. Men don't run the homes. It's women. And the majority of women in Kenya who are running homes as single parents. We've got a crisis in terms of single parenting. So without the male influence in terms of the running of the home, I feel the male elected leaders are going to be disconnected to the realities and the needs of the women.
I'm just going to shift gears a bit to look at election-related violence in Kenya. We have a history, and not a good one for that matter. And, what happens with the coming of the digital migration is the fact that now what was happening, violence that was happening offline, abuse that was happening offline has now moved online, and women in politics have faced this. And that is why you came up. I was very keen to read about this Heshimu Dada. Heshimu Dada loosely translates to respect the lady.
What was the inspiration behind it? And have you managed to achieve the impact that you were targeting?
Yes, the digital transformation has meant a lot in terms of shifting what was offline into online. And then we felt like there is need to have an intervention. And this intervention was where we would then start looking at what is the underlying problem about women and their participation in the electoral process. When you put a man and a woman together and you tell them to state their remarkableness in their achievements, you find men do it so easily. Even at the campaign rallies, I've built these many roads, I've done all of these, everywhere. We are very good at singing our achievements. But when a lady says it and she's aspiring, she's taken as if she is boasting. It's like she's shameless. It's made to look like she's uncultured. That's how Heshimu Dada was conceived. And so we launched that in March, and it's seeking to deal with issues that are specific to women political aspirants.
How strong is this impact of these, especially the attacks against women online, and how much does it really go towards dissuading women participation in positions of, importance and prominence?
To answer your question, I would refer to European Institute for Gender Equality, a certain publication they published on cyber violence against women and girls. And on it, they say 51% of women and 42% of men aged 15 to 24 hesitate to engage in online debates due to abuse, hate speech, and threats. There are also other sources that actually depict, like the one she has just said, Kenya National Human Rights. So there are independent sources that corroborate that this is a real issue, it's a serious one, and it needs to be addressed.
For a lot of women, it's really a decision of whether to participate or not. And, I'm interested in knowing your position, Honorable Passaris, was that ever something you personally encountered, and did it give you pause?
From 2007 to 2017, 10 years, I tried to get into elective politics. And I encountered violence at various stages. We've been stoned, we've been tear gassed, we've been shot at, we've gone through all that violence. But this is violence post-election. All right. But then there's also the violence that happens because your competitor, they create violence to disperse you and your crowd. And of course, as a woman, you're always having to think, what about my children? What if I get hurt? What if I get raped? You're not at peace. I think men have this sense, this ego sense that they can handle anything. Women, our vulnerability comes in the minute we're under attack. So I feel that it takes a lot to come out, and you become tough. I went to Korogocho once, to a school. It was so innocent. I'd gone to a school to celebrate World Food Day. So we were there to plant fruit trees in the school. And these boys locked the gate. So I had the police there, but the gate was closed. When the gate was closed, I said, okay, fine, here. I said, 3,000, let me go. They said, no, that's too little. I said, that's all I have. So we had to push our way. I said to my driver, drive through the gate. I don't care if you damage the car, just drive through the gate. So in the end, the gate was opened and we got out of there.
Thank you so much, Honorable Esther. Alex, maybe you could just, as we wind up, you could just give us a minute on probably how women parliamentarians and politicians can work on mitigating electoral violence in this country.
Yes, they have done much already since we started this collaboration. Our objective is to build resilience for women online. We know some are traumatized by some of the experience that go online because, like Honorable Passaris said, when a woman is being attacked, she is attacked from a sexualized perspective. They don't look from her from the neck upwards. So I think we are looking at ways to build their resilience so that they can withstand and they can sell their political vision equitably and equally to the society, and will be happier and a happier country, realizing better benefits for development of the entire society.